One thing that I do a lot in my training is I practice what I'm going to eat the night before a race. So before my really long tempo runs or before my long runs, I'll eat exactly what I'm planning on eating the night before a race, which really goes to play out a lot in the pre-race meal, you know, because it can be kind of crazy, and a lot of times you're just scrambling to find a place that's, you know, not overflowing with runners, and it can be difficult. So what are some other tips we can take on that pre-race meal?
Yeah, you know, you really don't want to sabotage yourself. So, you know, a lot of it's kind of working with what you've done in training and seeing what you can handle. If you know there's only certain types of foods available where you're going to be, you know, especially that night before, you know, let's try some of that out in where you are at home. You know, if they've only got kind of spicy foods out there, you know, maybe you can cut it down or try to find somewhere else where you can go. I'm a big one when you're going to these marathons, there's 30, 40,000 runners showing up, plus all their siblings and spouses. It's a big crowd all looking for the same type of food. I'm a big fan of getting that reservation early if you're going to go out to an Italian place and get some pasta or whatnot. You know, one of the big things I think that pre-race meal is not getting stuck into that infamous pasta party. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, everyone wants to go and it's like load, load, load on the carbs.
Yeah, so what is the best thing to eat? You know, you hear, obviously, like you're saying about the pasta parties. I like to have pasta, sometimes rice before the race. I hear about other runners who have steak and cherry pie. Jim Ryan used to do that. What's the best thing to eat the night before a race?
Well, I think, you know, the whole food process, and especially that night before, it's not about, you know, just like in training, we're not trying to cram it all in at the end. So it's like the carb loading idea that, you know, everyone hears about so much in endurance sports. Carb loading is a long-term process. It's not a short-term process. So all we're trying to do is top the body off with a little bit of carbs that we've lost in training for that day, and so that we go into the race with a full tank, you know. So we still want to keep the balanced meal. You know, you get your carbs in, that's great, but don't forget your essential fats and a little bit of protein to kind of balance the system out.
Cool. So there you have it. Pre-race meal. Make sure that you're topping off your tank.
And don't forget to make that reservation.